Since Icon and I... Did I say that correctly? You will correct me. Okay. Since Icon and I are playing Lost Ark, I, as usual, will do some kind of reaction about the game that I am investing my my time in it. Okay. So, last drop of tea. And I'm going crazy because I had too much sugar today with my 2 cups of tea and waffles with sugar.
Lost Ark is a top-down action RPG, or ARPG, developed by Smilegate Studios and published in the West by Amazon Game Studios. After an incredible launch with skyrocketing player counts and huge hype, players quickly burned out. They played through the story, some got to endgame, and the grind got to people, and the player count dropped off pretty hard. Despite that, Lost Ark still has a pretty healthy player count. It still is one of the most played MMOs in 2023. It still has content creators talking about the game. There's still a healthy update schedule. We just got a big, massive patch with a new class. There's still a lot going on.
It is most played MMORPG? Really? Really?
Going on, and it's still a good game. But over a year since its release in the West, I want to talk about today, is Lost Ark worth playing in 2023?
Well,
so first off, let's go over the new player
I'm here for that.
experience. The game is totally free, so there's no upfront cost. On top of that, there's no sub fee, no expansion cost, completely free in all aspects. You can make multiple characters all the way up to max level, take part in the endgame raids, all without spending a single penny in the game. But there's a lot of in-game purchases, and pay to win is thrown around a lot. If you Google pay to win on Lost Ark, you're going to see a lot of people talking about it. And I want to talk about that later in the video, and I'll timestamp all this if you do want to jump around. So, the first thing you do...
This one's cool.
The game is you make your character, so you pick a class, and the game has, as of the last patch, it has 6 core classes, and then each of the core classes has advanced classes within them. So think of the classes as a core, and then the advanced classes are like evolvements of that class.
I didn't like that thing that I have to pick right away from the start my my main class. This could be done something like other games. For example, I pick a class mage, warrior, or something, get basic skills, and then at higher level do some kind of cool quest, maybe cool. I mean cool, good, interesting, and choose from classes that are suggested. Maybe that's my that is the thing that bothered me from the start.
The base classes are warrior, assassin, martial artist, gunner, mage, and the new specialist. Once you pick your main class, you then go into like a starter test area where you pick your advanced class. These aren't like specializations. You can never change these. So if you picked a warrior...
Yeah, so that is my one of my problems. Since I've played Guild Wars, I now know the worth of that I can switch some of my classes in the mid-game. So that is... very, very, I wanted to say, grabs me, this thing grabs me, but, well, I will stay on a good thing. Good thing. I don't have vocabulary to express myself. Okay.
A berserker, that you'll always be that. You'll never be able to change to a warrior gunlance.
Child classes. Classes that look like child, characters that look like child. It doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother me. I think if I repeat this too much, I will start to believe that. It is not bad thing that these characters like that exist, but it still bothers me somehow. I don't know. Maybe leave the ability to for people to create something like that, not the stock version of this.
So this is a permanent choice. And there's a total of, I think, 22 advanced classes. and they all play completely differently. I won't go into every single subclass, but the sheer amount of replayability here, just from the amount of classes, is amazing. I think on the class front, Lost Ark is incredible. Then once you've made your class, you make your character, which is okay. I think the character creator is really good, but it has a big issue that I want to talk about, and that is it's completely gender locked or race locked. So if you want to be any of the warrior classes, you have to be a big bulky man who lives in the gym. If you want,
yes, one of reasons that I didn't want to pick warrior, because I'm not like that. So meh.
Want to be a mage class, you have to be a skinny elf woman, and it's not the end of the world. But some people...
gender and these types of locks, if the gameplay is good, I can live with that. So that's not I'm used to that because I played Diablo, grind Diablo like crazy. Second, and Sacred, I think, yeah, Sacred, and some of other games that has gender and also the no character creations. I mean, I cannot change my. God damn it! I forgot words. You understood me.
People don't like that. I will say one of the new characters, the specialist class artist, you literally have to play as a small childlike character. So just be forewarned. This is a big thing in Eastern games. I play a ton of Black Desert, and it's exactly the same with that. But yeah, I just want to bring this up because I know it's gonna bother some people. Next up, combat. So action RPGs are all about
not the game breaking or not the thing that I will choose not to play the game for that reason. Game. If game is good, fuck it. I will not play probably that unless it's fun, maybe, but I don't think so.
Out the action, and in this game, it's great. You pick a selection of spells and abilities, you bind them to like WASD and some other keys, and then they just feel damn good. They feel really good. They have different interactions. Some you have to charge up, some you have to hit a certain sweet spot, some you have to land on a certain location, you dodge around from different attacks, and it feels good. There's a skill tree where you can decide what you want the skills to be. So maybe you have a fire spell, but you can pick a skill that turns it into an electric spell, or you could.
I will say right now, because he will probably say what I'm thinking, but I'm here to talk a little bit. So you can create something unique with that, and I liked it. Some unique skill. I mean, you can choose a lot of stuff to make your own skill, and then also combos with that. Push your opponent far back or in the air and fucking, I don't know, slice him up. Of course, some of that doesn't work on raid bosses, at least for those that I've met.
Reduce the charge time of the spell. There's loads of different unique things which make the builds in this game really, really, really fun. You just zerg around with your awesome build, and it just feels good. There's just a good a feeling as running around with a massive hammer smashing in.
Even on my PC, it lags a lot. FPS drops because my PC struggles to work with that game. But still, using skills feels awesome.
Into things and charge up these powerful attacks as there is going around and shooting fireballs at stuff. The combat feels honestly fantastic. The sounds, the spell effects, the impact of your abilities, knocking things into the air, knocking things back, seeing them blow up, just feels great. You feel powerful and you feel strong. Next up, let's talk about the actual story and the leveling experience. The story starts out very dry and very predictable. There's a big bad evil and you have to find the Lost Ark to save the world. But it gets so good later on. The journey to 50 is hands down the most dreadful leveling experience of any MMO. It is one of the reasons there are so many damn bots in the game, because you spend the entire game going from NPC to NPC. You read dialogue, you skip dialogue, you kill 3 mobs, hand in an item, next NPC.
Yes, that's the thing that uh, made me very angry in my playthrough because those quests were shitty, except some of the moments, epic moments in the story where there's cinematic, and after the cinematic, something epic battle or epic raid, epic boss or something, but something cool. Even if the level boss or something is not strong to give satisfaction, at least it looks fucking cool. Like that thingy that was spitting fire and kicking that big motherfucker. That was cool. Stories, I didn't finish it yet, but still story. If I'm not taking into consideration shitty parts of questing, that's annoying chores. Go there, pick up that, and what's the fucking point of that?
And this goes on for hours, days even. This goes on for 50 levels, and I'm fully confident that of the hundreds of thousands of people that played this game on release, the vast majority never got to 50 because it's crap. It's not fun. But after level 50, the game gets really good, and people just won't see.
But that is the problem. If up until level 50 there's nothing interesting in the game, the game will lose players. One of the reasons why game lost a lot of players, it's the beginning. The beginning is a fucking short. What's the word? It's not interesting. It's bad to go through it and to level up and progress in story. Not such a bad thing, but to progress in the game, to level up, you have to do those. At least in my experience. Because grinding mobs or doing something else doesn't give you that much of experience. This sucks a little bit that I don't have that choice to... Let's say I'm not interested in the story. I'm just skip, go there, go fuck. Oh, fuck, I'm not interested. Fuck this game. And yeah. This is dumb. Dumb idea. And playing right now, I feel like there's no effort from developers up until a higher level. I will see what will happen in higher levels, of course. Maybe that will be not interesting, but fuck it. I will try to go through that, especially since I'm not doing this solo. I'm doing this with Icon, so that helps me.
See it. Once you do hit 50, the story picks up, the gameplay picks up. I won't spoil the story, but you get your own little ship, you get your own little like kingdom, you travel around the world to different continents, all with their own theme. There's a continent that's futuristic with gunners and mechs, and there's a continent full of dwarves, and you go into the mines and you hear their story. There's a continent full of elves and they go into big trees. It's just loads of variety. And in the background of all this, there's a big demonic threat story, which is good. The story isn't as dark as, say, Diablo or Path of Exile, but it's really good. I'm trying to show bits in the background, kind of out of context clips, that you can see how cool it looks without ruining the story, because you don't just watch the cutscenes like you do in a lot of other MMOs. I will say in some MMOs, you just sit there and watch the big battle, and then you go fight 3 monsters, or you go fight a boss, and it's like, you don't feel like you're in a war. Here, you really do.
Yes. I was excited when that happened because we were playing and some of the points in the story, there was a moment in the beginning, I think, where there's a lot of soldiers and I didn't need to fight any of them. And later, that was fucking and Icon said that my computer will die. And I thought so too. But then everything came out good and I had so much fucking fun. And after something epic happening, huge mobs, shitty boss, weak boss, it suddenly goes down. Because again, I have to go back to the same chores and do the same fucking quests that are boring as fuck and not interesting and not supposed to exist or should be better. At least in my opinion, of course.
You'll be sieging castles with armies, and you're part of that army. You'll be fighting in huge demonic wars, and you're there with the soldiers. And it feels so good. Honestly, the story, it's such a slow build-up.
This hammer guy, I thought this will be a little bit slower, but... I mean that character, but it is fast, it is fast. I still have my Glavier. Still enjoying.
But the end is really good. Next, I'll talk about collectibles. One of the best things about Lost Ark is the collectible system. It is one of the best of any MMO. Don't come at me. It is. There is a collectible window that shows all your full collections of all the different systems, and it's so good. Everything you do in the game rewards you with these little collectibles all over the world are different things to collect. There's Makoko seeds. There's over 1,000 seeds spread across the world. There's masterpieces, star signs, island souls, world... you know what this means. There's loads. And all these different casual activities have a collectible system and rewards. Collect...
Icon will be lost in his free time when we are not playing in this, I think, because he's always trying to do everything 100%. So this will be... Maybe I will lose myself too, but I'm not that kind of a guy, but I'm more of a fighting thing, not searching, collecting, except maybe in environments that it's interesting, for example, and somebody will shout at me, say that I'm not right, but come on, Genshin Impact did that right.
So many seeds, you get...
Maybe in not that big way, but I didn't experience the Lost Ark's collectibles, but still that the environment, you can be lost in the environment. Maybe here too, but my PC ruins that little bit.
You get a permanent buff, collect so many more, you get a Makoko sailor to come on your ship with you. New outfits, new glams, new mounts. A casual player can spend weeks to months just going around collecting things. And I think that's a huge part of an MMO. Some MMOs fail at this.
I hate this part. Collectibles, everything. But why? I hate it in Genshin Impact. I hate it in this one. This fortress thingy. Maybe some kind of fight in this. I'm all about fighting. PvP, PvE, crafting, collecting weapons, but this shit, maybe in the end game, maybe when I'm not that, I don't know. At least this is not for me. This is not for me. For others, okay.
They might have little things that you can collect, but they don't have a good way to store them or a good way to reward them or a way to see how many of this thing have I got. But this does it spot on. On top of all this, every single map in the game has a zone, like a zone thing called an adventure tome, which is a % out of 100 of how much of that zone you've completed. Every single item you collect, you cook, every quest you complete, every boss you fight, every dungeon you do, ticks off this zone's completion. And as you get to 10%, there's a reward. 20%, there's a reward. So there is just so much casual stuff to do. I can't say how much, because you won't feel it until you're in the game and you see all of this and how long it takes to do each thing. But it's just a good grind. You can get up on a Saturday, sit and do this all day, see your progress, get all your rewards, and do it again the next day. And it won't run out for a long time. So super grindy, but so rewarding. Next up.
I saw that in Guild Wars, so maybe they learned from that. But also, okay, good game, so maybe I could be lost in this too. I tried a little bit to collect stuff in Guild Wars, but...
The endgame experience. The endgame is both amazing...
Little bit of spoilers to me, but fuck it. I'm interested in his opinions.
And terrible. And I want to get into it. This might be the longest section of the video.
Okay.
If you love grinding in games, you love slow progress, you like see numbers going up, you'll be right at home in Lost Ark. The endgame content ranges from big zergy swarms of monsters to giant hard to beat bosses. You've got chaos dungeons, which are like maps from Path of Exile. Or
I like that. I'm very much all for that. And my question would be, how big of a party we can create? I mean, how many people we can gather in one party?
Diablo, you go in and clear 100% of the monsters, you get a reward. There's dungeons, abyss dungeons, raids, hard raids, legion raids, towers, there's so much. There's like 10 plus endgame systems and things to do. There is so much endgame content, and it's pretty much all fun. Some of it's soloable, and then the raids and the hard dungeons, you have to group up with other players. You'll be pushed to your limits in some of the hard content. You will have to learn mechanics. You'll have to work as a team of DPS and support characters. And you really feel the strength of your class, and you have to play as a part of the team. I really like the Guardian raids, which are fights against like a big monster. Think Trials from Final Fantasy XIV. You go in and clear with a group against a giant dragon or a huge scorpion or a mythical bear or some other creature. The end game
Oh, wait. Party 2, 4 people. Oh.
content is fantastic, and it deserves credit because the end game content is well put together, clean. It's just good. It's just really, really good, thorough, and there's a lot of it. But there's a huge issue, which I think is one of the biggest issues with Lost Ark. It is the progression system. I'm 100% certain that this leads to burnout for a lot of players, and is a reason the player count drops so hard. If you didn't fall off in the grindy story, you probably fell out from burnout. And you see it with YouTubers all the time. I've played for a year and now I quit. And you're seeing a lot of people burn out because of the end game gearing system. And I'm going to talk about it. Every piece of content you want to do in this game is driven by a gear level. And there's loads of ways to get stronger, but the main way is improving your gear through a system called honing. You take your gear, it starts at tier 1, you hone it, you make it stronger, and progress it through levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 20, all that. And every single time you upgrade that number, the gear gets stronger. Then you upgrade it to tier 2, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all over again. Then you go to tier 3. Tier 3 is the end game gear, and you go over at gear level 1000. That's end game. And the honing to upgrade this gear starts out so nice and simple. You need certain materials to upgrade your gear and your weapon, and it has 100% success rate, and these come from simple quests like the story or from an island, or, you know, it's all nice. And then you hit endgame. We're talking hundreds of materials to upgrade something from a 10 to an 11 with maybe a 20% chance of success. If it fails, you got to go grind materials for a few days. And all these amazing and fun endgame activities I talk about are time gated. So your endgame becomes, I need to log in.
Time gated? Why? Why do you need to time gate this shit? So it doesn't matter how much time I can spend on that. It doesn't matter because I spend it. Whoa, you. Why? Wait, why? Time gated in MMO. We have time gated in mobile games. Why in the fucking fucks in MMO? So, if somebody plays longer and spend more time honing, I still cannot reach his power spike, power level, or whatever that is called. Oh, of course, the limit of leveling up the gear. Right, I understand that. But still, that's a little bit bullshit. Of course, not little bit, but I try to soften the hit that I've got right now. For fuck's sake, why?
Every day, do 2 chaos dungeons, do a guardian raid. I need to do the big raids in the big dungeon once a week. And then if I want to progress more, I need to make an ult and do it all again. I need to grind gold. I need to do tasks to get gold so I can buy more materials. And the burnout and the FOMO is so hard here. And I think that's what burns a lot of people out, because you grind all the materials for a week and you go from plus 10 to say plus 12 gear. And then what your reward is harder raids and harder chaos dungeons. And instead of needing 150 of something, you need 500 of something. And it just keeps, the numbers keep going up, the requirement keeps going up, and the time keeps going up. But the lockout always stays the same. And I personally think it's really rewarding, but you are chasing a constant moving goalpost. And it can be rough for some people. And
of course, with the expansion thing, when game progresses, so that means new gear, new goalpost. I understand what he means, but right now I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm not dropping the game up until that point. Maybe at that point, unless game begins to lag a lot more, then maybe I will think about it. But right now, no.
That brings us swiftly on to pay to win, because all of these materials that go up into the hundreds of thousands of things you need can be bought with real money. Real money. So is the game pay to win? Well, if winning is getting the best gear in the game and having the coolest looking stuff at the highest number, then yeah.
My question would be, what about PvP? Of course, the gear and everything, grinding is better PvE. And what about PvP?
A payer will overtake a free player so fast. So fast. The cash shop has mounts, outfits, upgrades, all that's fine. Upgrade materials for your ship and your little stronghold. You could buy like a subscription type thing called a crystalline aura, which is optional. You don't need this. You can make a new ult and you can pay to skip the ult to the end game if you've done it already. You can pay to skip it through the gear as well. You can do all this. And all that stuff is kind of fine. It's in pretty much every MMO nowadays. But
what the fuck is this mentality? Oh, it exists in most every fucking MMO, so it's okay that this exists. What? You're saying this shit? No, this ruins everything. These types of stuff, this exists in some kind in all other MMOs, so it is not that bad. So we will get used to shit like this. Oh, it exists in this game, in all of these games, so why it shouldn't exist in this game? Wow, I'm disappointed right now in some people that are thinking like that. This mentality. Oh, that's why games like Diablo Immortal exists.
The end.
You've got what you deserved. I think people who okay, I'm not saying play games or whatever. If game is gonna, fuck it. Especially if game is single player. I'm talking about those who are saying that Genshin Impact is a bad game. No. It is good game. It has some aspects of pay to fucking ruin your game. But this shit... okay, I'm not supposed to be angry like that. This is a good day for me. Okay, let's watch. I'm not gonna rant about that.
Game makes it harder and harder to progress, and the cash shop to buy these honing materials becomes more and more convenient. So is Lost Ark pay to win? Absolutely. 100%. So wrapping it all up, should you play Lost Ark in 2023? If you are looking for that action ARPG fix, the ARPG fix, you love ARPGs, you're looking for something good, fun combat, amazing endgame content that is different from your traditional Diablo and Path of Exile, then Lost Ark's fantastic. Lost Ark is an incredible game with amazing combat, amazing endgame activities, and I would highly recommend it. In that aspect alone, it's a fantastic game. If you're looking for a casual, fun experience where you can make loads of ults, play loads of content, zerg through loads of enemies, enjoy traveling the world.
And also, I'm not the person who's gonna create a lot of alternative characters, let's say. I'm trying to play with one character, if that is possible. And that's the main thing for me. If I can progress in the game, let's say with one character, if yes, that's a big plus for me. That's a big plus for me.
World in your ship, chilling out in your fort.
No matter what is the reason to create more characters, to grind, time gating, or whatever. For example, like I promise not to talk about that. Sorry, my bad. I'm not talking anymore about Lineage.
Working on the hundreds to thousands of collectibles in the game, then Lost Ark is also fantastic. There is probably 1,000 hours of free content here for those types of players. And I can't not recommend it on that front. But Lost Ark has 3 big problems. The early game is a huge slog. The grind to 50 is rough. It's annoying that people have to get through like the worst part of the game before they can see the game at its best. The end game is amazing.
Sometimes this can make maybe a good game a very bad game, because the whole game should be enjoyable. The whole game. If the beginning sucks, it will ruin experience for new players. It will ruin experience for some other type of players, and the count of players will drop. And it, as this person said, it happened. It happened. I'm not gonna talk about endgame because I didn't experience it. So I'm not gonna talk about, but it a little bit scares me. It scares me sometimes. But if I will be able to enjoy endgame, let's say I'm gonna grind, but whatever, I enjoy grinding, I enjoy seeing some kind of progression with my grinds. If it will not ruin my experience, so fuck it. But come on. To make a good game, make a good beginning, because good beginning will leave very good impression. First, love from first sight, let's say. But yeah. So to me, that was a big problem. The beginning is so fucking, and I still didn't get to the level 50. And yeah, let's finish this.
It's grinding and time consuming, but it's great. The second big issue is the progression. The progression system of honing is rough. It's really rough. The best way to get ahead is to progress every day on multiple characters, save up all your gold, or to swipe your card. And the final issue is the bots. Because of these issues, because the early game is so brain dead, and because grinding materials and gold is so important, the game is savaged by bots. If you're going through the 1 to 50 maps and you're doing this, if you're a new player, you're not paying any car, you're not paying any skips, you're going through this first 50 levels, you're not going to see many players. It's all going to be bots. So yeah, that's it. The game is good. It's a free game. It's an incredible game for a free game, but it has its problems. I think the average player should push through the first 50 levels, push through the story, enjoy the collectibles, see all the really cool dungeons, see the chaos dungeons, the guardian raids, and then decide, do you want a hardcore endgame grind, or do you want to call it a day there? But I'd definitely say it's worth playing in 2023. If this game has a box price, maybe that would be different, but for a free game with tons of optional content, it's a fantastic ARPG. That's it for this video. I hope this has helped, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you've tried Lost Ark in the past, what did you think? Or if you're feeling that ARPG itch and have any questions, I'm happy to answer them down below as well. If you enjoy the video, liking it helps me out a ton, and if you enjoy these types of unbiased MMO reviews, subscribe for more. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you for this video. This was good, informative, and everything else. I'm a little bit Don't know. Let me think. I'm not really that disappointed. I thought this would be something really, really bad. The end game, grindy. Of course, I understand. We are getting used to these type of things, but game is free first of all, and yes, we are getting used to it. This is bad. How to fix that? Don't play the game. But at least from some point, the game is good. But I'm bothered with this shit. With that, the beginning is shit. The mid game, let's say, is good. The end game is a little bit iffy. That's not a recipe for a good game, I think. But game is free. The game is free, pay to win. But yet, I didn't see nothing was said about PvP. I saw that there is something like that, arena or whatever, but some kind of world PvP. Is this a little bit solo game, MMO? I don't get it. So, we will meet, we will talk more when I will see more of the game. And yeah, I think that's it for this one. Bye.